Welcome to the Fallacy Factor, the show where we bring pseudoscientists to discuss hot topics of debate. On occasion, we will be hearing from the Fallacy Fairy to provide input on the logic of the arguments. On today's show, we bring Dr. Von Blacklund to argue against banning smoking in public places. Dr. Keith Hash is also here today supporting his research on the effects of secondhand smoking and the dangers of smoking in general. Now, each of you can provide your opening statements.
Hello, I'm Dr. Keith Hash from the South Harmon Institute of Technology, and today I'm going to be talking about how public smoking puts the innocent in harm's way and why we should ban it to protect them.
And I'm Dr. Von Blacklund from the Institute for Nicotine Study, and I'm here to argue how the effects of secondhand smoking have been exaggerated and smokers should be able to smoke where they want.
So, Dr. Von Blacklund, you say the effects of secondhand smoking have been exaggerated. How can you make such a claim?
Well, smoking in public places, especially outdoors, does not cause non-smokers to inhale very much smoke. In fact, there's been no conclusive evidence to show any significant link between adverse health effects and secondhand smoking. Therefore, secondhand smoking must not be the cause.
Hi, I'm the Fallacy Fairy, and here you can see the appeal to ignorance fallacy, which states that a lack of evidence proves that the opposite must be true.
Well, Dr. Hash, what do you have to say to that?
When smoke enters the body, the nicotine toxin is absorbed and converted into cotinine. Cotinine is known to cause health complications. In December of 1992, the EPA released their now famous study on the effects of secondhand smoke. The study reported that secondhand smoke causes 3,000 deaths a year, and environmental tobacco release, or smoke released from the cigarette or exhaled by the smoker, has upwards of 60 known carcinogens contained within it.
That's a strong statement. Dr. Von Blacklund, do you have a rebuttal?
Yes, that's a very famous study, but when the EPA issued their report, they announced their results before the study was even finished. Not only that, but it wasn't even its own autonomous study, but an analysis of existing studies. They only included studies that showed a significant link between lung cancer and adverse health effect, or lung cancer and secondhand smoking, and it excluded others. Now, they estimated that based on nicotine measurements in non-smokers' blood, it would translate to about 1/5 of a cigarette per day. But other studies have shown that when non-smokers wear monitors and measure actual exposure, they only inhale about 6 cigarettes per year. Clearly, the effects of secondhand smoking have been greatly exaggerated when we break down the study even more.
Clearly, there's some disagreement about the effects of secondhand smoking.
Well, people don't like the effects or even the smell of cigarettes, and people shouldn't be subjected to things that cause them discomfort when they're trying to enjoy themselves.
Here you can see the red herring fallacy, which is the deliberate raising of an irrelevant issue during an argument. Even though cigarettes may cause discomfort to non-smokers, it is irrelevant to the overall health detriments of secondhand smoke.
So I've heard that smoke not only causes negative effects on the smoker, but on the environment as well. Dr. Hash, can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Well, according to a recent report by the Ocean Conservancy, nearly 2 million cigarettes, buzz, and filters were picked up from beaches and inland waterways as part of the annual International Coastal Cleanup of 2010. Over 1 million alone were picked up just in the United States, making it the most littered item in urban environments and beaches.
Alright, I'm rolling.
The Ocean Conservancy is biased because they're just trying to gather funding for ocean cleanup and beach conservation. We can't really take anything they say seriously.
Here we see the genetic fallacy, which states that a claim is true or false simply because of its origin. He attempted to discredit the information simply because it came from the Ocean Conservancy, and they have a self-interest in protecting the ocean.
Well, according to another study, nearly 600 million trees are destroyed to provide fuel for dry tobacco each year. That's 1 tree for every 300 cigarettes. So not only does smoke pollute our air, it also costs us trees which cure the air. The tobacco industry doesn't care about our environment, so everyone that supports them doesn't care about our environment either.
This conclusion commits the division fallacy, which states that what is true of the whole must be true of the parts. He attempts to equate the tobacco industry to each individual smoker.
Well, guys, we're almost out of time. Do you guys have any concluding statements?
Well, smoking causes negative effects not only to the smoker, but to our environment as well. It damages our bodies and our planet. Smoking publicly also indirectly takes away one's choice whether or not to be exposed to such harmful carcinogens or not. It should not only be banned publicly, but in general.
Alright. Dr. Von Blackland, what's your concluding statement?
Yeah, smoking bans just don't work. Recently in Iowa, 2008, they enforced a smoking ban in public places, but since, reports of non-enforcement have been rampant, with rural police forces maintaining that the smoking ban is just too costly to enforce. These laws require the law enforcement to babysit on something that should be a matter of personal choice. Furthermore, workplaces can be stressful environments, and forcing people to sneak off to smoke cigarettes makes them look unprofessional. These laws are unjustified because the effects of secondhand smoking have been exaggerated and do not justify significant intrusion on the personal liberty of business owners and their customers. And Dr. Keith Hash's arguments are faulty at best because before the show I saw you smoking a cigarette outside. How can you advocate for the ban of smoking when you smoke yourself?
In his concluding statement, Dr. Von Blackland committed the appeal to the person fallacy. By attacking the person rather than the argument, he attacked Dr. Hash's personal choice to smoke rather than the logic of his argument.
Well, that's all the time we have here on Fallacy Factory. You guys have definitely given our viewers a lot to think about. To smoke or not to smoke in public. You guys have brought a lot of evidence to support your claims, and it is very obvious that this is a very hot debate in today's society.